everybody, Ryan Medora here, and welcome back to another bass lesson. Today we're talking about funky blues using dead notes, chromatic motion, lots of good things. And this is a great lesson if you are getting into playing blues and jamming, creating your own bass lines, or even if you want to just play like a funky blues but integrate some dead notes and some chromatic motion, things that'll kind of like spice up your bass line. So today we're going to be working in the key of C. We'll talk about that and moving around through our 12-bar form. And if you want to get tab, notation, anything like that for this lesson, please head over to my Patreon page. You can get that and backing tracks and all that stuff there. Or don't forget to check out ryanmedora.com and the 12-bar blues survival pack if you want to get even more blues feels and tab, backing tracks, notes from myself and drummers and all that good stuff that can be found there. But let's get into this lesson. So as I mentioned before, we're working in the key of C, and this bass line in particular is going to, one, take us through our 12-bar blues, two, have a funky feel. I like to think about it as like a kind of an Albert Collins kind of groove, and three, integrate chromatic motion and dead notes. So those are two musical concepts we're going to throw in here. So my main thing is going to be in the key of C, and I'm going to be starting here on the 3rd fret of my A string. My 12-bar form is going to take me through a 1 chord, which is C, our 4 chord, which is F, which we can get down here or up here, and our 5 chord, which is G, which is here or here. So as we learn our bass pattern, we're going to move it across all of these chords, and we're going to have to change it a little bit since we've got some open string land that we're in. So to get started, we're just going to figure it out on our C. So here, this is our main groove. We're going to start with our root note, and then we're essentially going from our 3rd, E, up to our 5th, which is G. So you can kind of see that I walk chromatically. Here's that chromatic motion where we're just moving in half steps, where I'm going E up to G. Now, I could play this straight, or I could add a dead note for a little funky funk. There it is. That sounds cool. As we add that dead note, I'm choosing to play the root note, the 3rd, and then I'm going to play that dead note just before the 4th or the F. So I'm going to play E, dead note, F, F sharp, G. So you can think about it as root note, 3rd, dead note, into the 4th, sharp 4th, 5th. And it'll feel like this. So that's going to be our basic groove. Now, get that under your fingers, play it a few times. I like to try to play it as much as possible with my middle finger starting the groove, 4-fret span, going E up to the G, and then as I move through the chord progression, we're going to change that fingering just a tad because we are now going to go to F, our 4 chord. Now, as we go to F, all of a sudden we have our open string at the party, because if we play our groove, F is our root note. The 3rd of that is going to be A. We can use our open A string. We're going to play our B flat as the 4th, but we're going to do that dead note into the B flat, B, C, and that's going to be our bass line as we play it over our F chord. Now when I'm here, instead of sticking with my 4-fret span, I'm going to go and just use my index finger, open string, index, middle, pinky, to kind of make it easy to play on the F chord here. And then I'm going to land here with my pinky, but then I'm going to go whoop, swap it out for my middle finger, because I've now returned to my C to play over the C chord. So you can kind of see that as we're on F, the bass line ends on the C, but then we want to replace our pinky with our middle finger to begin the bass line over again on our C chord. So if we were to play it in sequence, we'll do 4 times through on our C chord. Move it to F. back to C. Twice there. Now we're going to go to G. You can see I just went back one string. I can play exactly the same fingering that I used on my C chord. We're just starting it now on G, root, third, dead note in the fourth, sharp fourth, fifth. Just play it one time on that G chord, slide down to F for one time, and then again replace our pinky with our index, or with our middle finger, play it over C, and then we've got some stabs, some bup 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 with the rest of the band, and we're going to play that on G, and we can just kind of like pedal that G note with the stabs to really just like make it sound nice and tight. So this is the basic form of this bass line. You know, we're using our 12-bar blues form. We've got like a funky pattern that uses chromatic motion, integrates a dead note, and kind of shows you a little bit about what you can do from a technique standpoint as you are navigating this pattern with an open string. You know, when we go to that F chord, we have A as our open string that we want to use. So the thing to keep in mind here is that we do want to maintain the groove until we kind of like get flexible enough to be able to improvise along with it. But if you kind of see the pattern like that, move it to your F chord. Remember that that first note is going to be that open string of that chromatic line. And then, you know, back to C. When you take it to G, you're doing the same exact thing, just one lower string. Back to F, back to C. And there it is. So I hope you dug this lesson. Get funky with it. You'll figure out different ways to kind of add ornamentation to it and move around your bass part, move it around the fretboard a little bit. But this is a great way to get started with a funky blues in the key of C. So I hope you dug this. If you want to get tab, notation, anything like that, please head over to my Patreon page for all of that good stuff. And don't forget to pick up the 12-bar blues survival pack at rhymemadura.com to get all kinds of fun things for other blues feels. So have a great day, everybody. Happy practicing. Keep it groovy.